You can also say they were against westernizing influence of the Europeans. They were against westernizing influence of the Europeans. This is where they learned that this Western influence, it can maybe undermine their culture. Any other point? They wanted to create employment opportunities. Any other? Some claim to have received revelation from God. And also there we have racial discrimination, whereby in the Europeans, whereby the Europeans and the Africans, where they learned, they were discriminated. Africans were mostly discriminated. This made them to fight for their nationalism. This talk.
African was addicted to harsh labor and they were underpaid. This led to nationalism.
Yes, colonial labor. This is where now these Africans are forced to work, but there is no wages. Kwa muda wa ndani kumfanyia tu kazi ngumu na kulivuta sikiati. Unasikia unalingana kazi gani? Maybe kama ni kazi rahisi utasema kulipa, lakini ile kazi ngumu alafu anakulipa kidogo. Any other? Umeelewa? So here you need maximum of 6. You earn 12 marks. Now let's move to factors that promoted African nationalism. We have factors that promoted African nationalism. Now, when we say factors that promoted African nationalism, now we say that there is nationalism. These African countries have started to fight for their nationalism. But there are some of the factors which will promote or will speed. You need to understand that now there is act of nationalism going on in the African countries. But there are some of the factors that will speed or promote. Now, the first one, greetings. You have experience of ex-soldiers. Laura. Now. Have Leninist Marxist influence. Third point, Ellen. We have Pan-Africanism. Lord. We have the Second World War. The third mass, the United Nations. We have the United Nations, then scheme. We have rise of Labour Party. Any other? Okay. We have independence of India and Pakistan. We also have the influence of USA. more speed factors that hasten African nationalism. We want to start with the influence of USA. This is where now, after the World War II, the USA emerged as a superpower. And you know that there were two superpowers, the USA and the USSR. Now, as USA emerged as a superpower, it comes up with a Marshall Plan. It comes up with a Marshall Plan. And this plan was just to help the European countries which have been devastated by the war. But USA told these European countries like the Britain and France, I am only going to help you on the condition you decolonize. This made now the African nationality to be inspired and speed up their nationalism. Have you understood? We have said, now after the Second World War there is emergence of superpowers, and one of them is the USA, where the USA comes up with an economic plan known as the Marshall Plan. And this Marshall Plan was just to help the European countries which have been devastated by the war. But it would only help those countries under one condition, that they should decolonize. Which means this speeded up what? Nationalism. Then we have the experience of ex-soldiers. Now, during this Second World War, these African ex-soldiers, they learned the idea of liberty and equality. They also knew that when these Europeans are exposed to the arms, they can die like other races when the Africans. Now, on the return to their countries, they started to fight for their nationalism. Waafrika washapigana because mara ya kwanza walidhani kwamba wazungu hawezi kufa. Now, after wameenda kusaidia wazungu kupigana, wakiona ukipiga mzungu bunduki si hata kufa, kumaanisha hawataendelea kumheshimu venye walikuwa wanamheshimu. When you are now Africa, they have learned the idea of liberty and equality. This means that walijua wakienda fight, hata wakiwa wazungu pia watakufa like the Africans. Now, this also promoted African nationalism. We have point number 3. Lenin-Marxist influence. This was after the revolution in Russia, where Lenin-Marxists came up with an idea which said that if you colonize, it will be part of the capitalism. He said that just colonization was part of the capitalism. This meant also Africans to fight for their nationalism. Menelewa. We say that we have capitalism and we have communism. And this communism was done in which country? We have Russia. What about capitalism? USA. Now, the latest Marxist is from the Russia, where he said that when you are going to colonize, you are doing what we call what? Capitalist regime. Or if they don't use the word capitalist regime, they will also use the word terrorist regime. Or here, in some of the books, instead of using the communism, they use what we call Bolshevik. Now, he just adds that if you are going to colonize the African countries, it is just part of what? Capitalism. This also inspires the African nationalism. We have also Pan-Africanism. This is where the African leaders, e.g. Kwame Nkrumah, Nelson Mandela, after they have attended the Pan-Africanism, they learned about their rights more. And they knew that colonization was illegal. On returning back to their countries, they started to promote what? Nationalism in their countries. We also have what? The Second World War. Now here, the Second World War, this is where we will include the influence of USA. Menelewa. The Second World War, this is where tumesema USA emerged as a superpower. Maanisha, if reason why UN was formed. Now, to maintain world peace and security. And it replaced which organization? Still, the League of Nations. Now, what has summed that after the First World War I, there was formation of League of Nations to prevent world peace and security. Other than maintaining world peace and security, what were also the functions of the League of Nations? What are other functions of the League of Nations? Functions of the League of Nations. To prevent production of harmful weapons. The second point, the function of League of Nations. Functions of the League of Nations. Tumesema kwanza to maintain world peace and security. Ya kwanza to prevent production of harmful weapons. Any other? Restoration back of independence of some nation. Any other? It was also to prevent occurrence of another war. And we have failures of League of Nations. What are some of the failures of the League of Nations? Failures of the League of Nations. It failed to maintain world peace and security, leading to occurrence of Second World War. Any other? We have said failures of League of Nations. Studying of League of Nations ilikuwa meant to maintain world peace and security, prevent of occurrence of another world war. Now, hiyo League of Nations imekuwa formed, haikufanya nini? Ilifeli kufanya nini ilikuwa inafaa ifanye? It failed to introduce some of the important powers into the USM, and it also failed to stop Germany from invading Poland. This reason why there was outbreak of the Second World War. Now, we want to look at the reasons for the failures of League of Nations. Reasons for the failures of League of Nations. Reason for the failures of the League of Nations. Nini ilisababishika haikufanya mikakati yake? Reason for the failures of the League of Nations. Miguel.
They lack funds to use their program.
You don't say they lack, but use the word inadequate. Walikuwa nao lakini haikutosha. So we say they had inadequate funds. Have inadequate funds. Any other?
Some members continue signing treaties secretly against the government.
Yes, some of the members continue signing treaties that were secret without the covenant of the League of Nations. This is where, under the Geneva Protocol, the British were able to sign the Locarno Treaty without the covenant by the members of the League of Nations. So here we just say the Geneva Protocol, where the British signed Locarno Treaty. Any other? Steve.
If they throw power
He said absence of important powers. Say absence of important powers. E.g. USA. Any other? So, when we say absence of important powers, and you remember very well, under the shortcomings of the Versailles Treaty, we said that USA was refused to ratify the Charter of League of Nations, which means the USA, after has refused to ratify the Charter of the League of Nations, it disrupted the activities of League of Nations. We have lack of